Good morning, everyone. So hopefully you watched yesterday's video on how to do wide range, long range, wide area coverage Wi-Fi for those people who have bigger homes or if they want to go from their home to the garage for internet service. So this one is going to be a little bit different. Same concept. This is residential stuff, residential quality. Obviously, there is commercial and enterprise. I can't think of any reason why someone would want this type for personal use, but you never know. So this is the way to get distance on a Wi-Fi signal is unlike a Wi-Fi router, which does what they call a sphere or a donut hole, or a donut, I should say. So on a Wi-Fi router, it's 360 degrees. Also 360 degrees this way. So the right angle of a triangle hypotenuse. Those who like Star Trek will get that joke. So anyways, so yeah, the Wi-Fi routers that you normally buy at the store, they do a sphere. And so, like I said, if in yesterday's video, if a Wi-Fi router says it's good for 1,000 foot, it's 500 foot one direction, 500 foot in the other. Not so much going up. Because it's more of a donut than a sphere, but that's how it works. But let's say you need to really go the distance. I mean, really go the distance. What can you do? And yeah, it can be done. There are residential equipment available that will let you cover miles, 2 at most, 5 max. I've only seen it generally for 2, 1.6 1 mile. 2.5 is about the max I've seen, but I've seen advertisements for directional routers that will go 5 miles. Now, the problem is as with anyone around here who lives in the boonies, trying to get a signal, you have to have line of sight. And that's where the problem comes in with the directional beam. Even though the beam is, instead of being 360 degrees, the beam is like in a cone. Therefore, the signal is stronger. You still have to have line of sight because the antenna on the other side is going to be able to receive it. With that being said, let me show you some options. And these are going to sound inexpensive. And certainly if you're going like from your house to a barn that's like 2,500 feet away, this might be a good option too. So these are directional antennas. They are PoE powered most times. This one is kind of like the newest, latest, and greatest thing. Now you might think $64, that's cheap, but you need 2 to make it work. And then you have to do line of sight in this whole thing. And this one's good because somewhere down yonder here in the specs, let me find the specs. Oh, there's the specs. Does this one give you the picture? It does not. One of the other ones here. This company is kind of new. They've been around for a few years, and they do really good quality stuff. This is Jaeger. Jaeger has been, yeah, I call it Jaeger. Jaeger is not the proper word. Yagi. They have been around for over a decade. These guys could really get the range, especially if you get into their CAN antennas. Yeah, but these guys are pretty good. I've seen these in action. If you live in Bellevue, as you're driving down the main street, 1, make sure you're at a stoplight. But look at your street poles. You'll see these. I know, kind of surprised, huh? That's because the emergency services in Bellevue uses this to connect to their vehicles. So you will see these on the light poles. Like I said, make sure you're at a stoplight. Don't do it while you're driving. But you'll see these directional antennas here. What it does is boom, 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 boom down the line. The problem with these ones is it requires a special adapter and generally a special router. And these are the adapters that they use. And if you don't have it, I don't know what to tell you. So again, they are designed for residential use or light commercial. These ones can get a range. The last time I checked on the specs of these can go about 2.25 kilometers before they start bumping out of range of each other. Still, 2.25 kilometers, that's a little over a mile. That's a good distance. So, and then of course, this. Again, you're talking 35 bucks. Not a bad idea. Problem is, gotta have two. And you mount this on the outside of your house. And then on the opposite building, you mount another one. And it comes in, I believe this, yeah. And this is, again, those connectors too. And you have to buy the special router to make it work, unfortunately. So the only one that works with just about any of them is, and I know I'm going to pronounce this name, Ubiki. Yeah, this is the only one that works with any router because it comes with a PoE injector. So you take your router, you plug it into the PO injector, and then you plug it into the power cord, and this will work with just about any router that's out there, at least from what I've read on this, on how it works. There's the cone I was looking for. So you can see this is how that particular cone, and this is how directional Wi-Fi works. You know, it's broadcasting in a cone. When you start getting to the end, you start losing signal. So you want to probably be right about in here. And this says it's using a 23 dBi. dBi is important. The higher the number, the further the range. And of course, again, for residential side, there's a limit on what we can do because, you know, then you start interfering with other important signals. And so they're not going to let you go very far or very powerful. So, again, excuse me. So this will probably get you probably mile and a half, maybe two line of sight. And you got to have one on each side. And they have to be within range of each other to work. But yeah, so if instead of going that 1,000-foot, as I mentioned in the previous video, if you wanted to take one of these or one of these or one of these and put them on the outside of your house to directionally beam to a specific target location, this is the way to go. Problem is, I've never really had to set up one for a client. So I don't have any real experience in this. I understand the principles behind it and how it works. But yeah, I've never set one up because I've never had a need to set one up. But I'd be glad to attempt and try and go that way with it. But yeah, this is how this works. And unfortunately, you have to buy the corresponding routers to make it work, because what you do is these antennas here come off and you replace the antennas with this, and so these will not work in your house anymore. They will only work outside, but they do have, like I said, super range. There is one I have seen, and this was years ago, and I'm going to try and spell it. I think it was called a CAN antenna. That might be it. Looks like a telescope. Nope, that's not it. So yeah, it looked like a telescope. And this thing can do 5 miles. Of course, it probably helps that I can spell right. Wow. Super long range directional Wi-Fi antenna. See if we can find it. There. 3 kilometers. I have seen these coming out of Japan and out of China that will go 5, 10, 15. And so yeah, they do. But the CAN antenna, that's what I refer to it, CANtenna. Get this open here. Take a look. What was the range on that? Good distance. I'm sure it was. 23. Oh, goes up to 30 dB. Yeah, you're gonna get some distance out of that. But yeah, this is and this is a little bit different. It looks like a telescope that you are using to get to it. So, and like I said, years past, I have seen this. Oh, 3 kilometers. What is that? A little over 2.25 miles, somewhere in there. Yeah, that's a good distance. So, residential side, you do have options for long range, but you're not going to go miles. Again, this is what you're limited to as a residential. If you are a business or enterprise or something like that where you need super long range, like 30, 40, 50, 60 miles. Last company I physically worked at with an employee, they had an antenna on top of their building that beamed to Toledo, 67 miles away. It was something like this. No, it was something like this. I'm sorry. It was like this. And it beamed to Toledo and back. But you have to have special permits for that, and you have to go through government agencies to get exemptions, and you have to be in a certain range. Yeah, so when you start getting up that high, or that powerful, yeah, the government says, no, you can't do this. If you're going to go something that strong, definitely check with consult an attorney and say, hey, this is what I want to do. What do I need? And you're probably not going to find an attorney around here that knows that knowledgeably. You're probably going to go into Toledo, to Cleveland, Columbus to find an attorney who knows the laws relating to this. But yeah, if you need to go 1,000 foot, 1,500 foot, these are the things to do. And they're not cheap. Some of these are, really, really expensive, but that's because they're really, really good. Now, like the Jaeger here, or the Yagi, whatever, it's designed to be outside. These are designed to be outside. So you need to start looking at also, when you're looking at outside devices, you have to look at other things like weather rating and so on and so forth. I can't remember what the weather rating is called. It's P something, but you have to look at that. And usually the higher the number, the better it can work outside, because it's protected. It's hardened. It can take the cold and stuff like that. So yeah, these are, if you need to go the distance, these are the ones you're looking for. Just as a side note, don't get no ideas about, hey, let's get 20 of us together and put these up and screw over Spectrum. They watch for this stuff. So just be aware. Don't try that. And the only reason why I know is someone got caught with it about 10 years ago doing that. Not one of my clients, one of my neighbors got caught doing that. Beaming signal back and forth to their, that was an expensive fine for them. So yeah, don't do that. Especially if you got Spectrum. Spectrum will know. And they will find out. And then they will take you to court for it. It's not pretty. And I think at that time it was also considered utility theft, even though your neighbors or whomever agreed to split the bill with you. So yeah, don't do that. So, but if you need it between your house and your barn, or your house and, a tool or a shed or something that far away, if you've got a shed, I want to say that correctly so I don't get dinged for saying bad words. So if you got a man cave or a she shed in the backyard and it's way, way out there, or you got a great big pond, and everyone comes over in the summertime, yeah, you can beam it from your house to the top of the telephone pole. It works just as well. So, but that's the super long range stuff. It is not cheap either. And like I said, I have never had the opportunity to set one up. So I don't know how much of a use I would ever be for that. But if the opportunity presented itself, I would certainly give it a try. So anyways, that's the end of this two-parter. Like, share, and subscribe. You know the routine. There's us on Facebook. Donations through the website is $5, but we added a new PayPal link so you can Donate $1 if you want. Computer problems, give us a call. So, been talking too much. Computer problems, give us a call. We can come to you if you're in our service area. You can come to us. Just schedule an appointment, and we'll get you taken care of. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.